Hey guys, how you doing? This is Bryan with DD214 Transport. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. Come on in the house. Get you a cocktail or a cup of coffee. Kind of late in the evening, but we're going to sit down and see what we can do. All right, so this is what we've got going on. We have something I wanted to talk to you guys about real quick today. I'm going to let a couple people show up in this thing, but I want to give everybody a quick heads up. We've got a problem out there with this 2022 Ram Anson transmission. I don't know what they have changed since the hey guys, come on in the house. I don't know. Let me just back up a second and just say that I don't know what they changed. Dwayne, how are you, buddy? Danny, Alan, William. So the 2022 Anson transmission is having problems. We had a guy with 1,000 miles on his brand new truck. Transmission dropped out of it, failed. We had another guy had 2,400 miles on his truck. Transmission dropped out of it. So be aware of that. And from what I'm understanding, there's quite a bit of issues with them. People are sitting around with these trucks now, and they have a backlog of transmissions. Okay, so everybody got their questions ready for today? Let's see what we got. Just post your questions at the bottom, and we'll get on them as they pop up. So one of the things that went on this week was the transmission issue. Fuel prices are dropping, and the truck prices are coming down a little bit more. Not great, but it's better than it was. Transmission dipstick. Is this one? Actually, okay, so is it something about pushing out transmission fluid on the dip? It is not. Yesterday, the driver was getting loaded, put it in gear, and he just heard a thud, and that was the end of it. It would not move forward, backwards, nothing. It was done. They towed it down to the local dealership there. They got it looked at yesterday morning, and it was a transmission gone. So somewhere between 2021, and now during this 2022 run of trucks, they've tweaked something in that transmission, and now it's failed. So, okay, what do we got? Could you explain personal? Oh my God, guys, you got to stay. Yes, I can. Let's talk about personal conveyance. This is an open session, okay? So you can ask whatever question you want, and I'll do my best to answer. As you can see, I don't have a book. I'm just going to tell you what I know. So personal conveyance. Personal conveyance is this. You're going to own this truck. So when you are not doing anything for the company, people keep confusing this with the furtherance of the load, and it has now been tightened down even further to the furtherance of your business objectives. So if you have to go get a headlight for one of your trucks, you're no longer on personal conveyance. You can drive your car all you want, but you can't drive that truck. Now, where people are getting in trouble is they think, hey, I can go drop the load, and then I can go on personal conveyance and go. You cannot. You're still on duty. You're still within the dispatch of that truck. And you're still, if you drive from where you drop the load back home, which they consider now your home terminal, Okay, that's furtherance of your business objectives. So personal conveyance is when you are off duty. Um, let's say, for example, do it this way. You drop your load, you're out of time. You can go on personal conveyance to the nearest parking spot or the nearest hotel. Yes, you can do that. But you cannot drive 14 hours home. I had a guy that we were dispatching that would not adhere to that. Would not. 3 months, 3 times he was placed out of service, and the last time they pulled his MC. Said, "We're done with you. You're not going to pay attention. You're out." What I tell my guys is this: as long as you're under dispatch, and under dispatch means basically you got that trailer on you, you cannot go into personal conveyance unless you're going to dinner and back, something like that. You have to just remember, if it's personal, fine. If it has anything to do with your business, it's not fine. Going from where you drop the trailer, driving 1,200 miles to home is not fine. And again, you have to, one other thing you have to remember is, as a professional driver, they look at it like this: you have to abide by the hours of service. Okay, this is a safety thing. Now, I'll tell you what I do. When I get home, park that trailer, I drive back into my driveway, I shut off off-duty personal conveyance, and I'm done at that. Now, if I leave the house any other time, I'm personal conveyance. But anytime I'm going to get the trailer, I'm on duty. I did the parade last year here in Indian Trail, was on duty driving, because it was an advertisement deal for the business. Hope that explains it a little bit better. If not, come back to me. I'm happy to talk to you again. What's the next one we got? Question. I saw something about their 40-foot trailer because they had an F450, 67 feet. Guys were telling them they should take off the bed. Okay, there's a 65-foot length limit. Okay. Supposedly, and it's mainly out in Illinois, out in there, they will burn you if you're over 65 feet. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm 65 feet, maybe an inch or two with the license plate. But with my setup, I'm not taking off my bed. Now, where the guys get with the Rams, where they get in trouble with that king cab, with that extra like 10 inches they get in the back, they may be in trouble there. The rule is, if your rig, and that's truck and trailer, from the furthest point on one to the furthest point on the other, is over 65 feet, you're not supposed to have a truck bed on. It's supposed to be a cabin chassis. That's your answer. I'm right there. So I'm taking the hit on it, if that's the way it is. Next, is that a thing? How do you truck and trailer to avoid selling brand new equipment? How do you shop, measure a truck and trailer to avoid selling? I don't understand.
Second part of the question.
Oh, second part of what?
For this question, there was a report about 67 feet.
Yes.
You just answered.
Well, the first thing you're going to measure is your truck. You don't buy the trailer first, you buy the truck. So you measure the truck, and then you take a risk. If you're pushing a little bit over 65 feet, that's a risk. It's a risk I take for a couple inches, but yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead. What we got? Okay, look, I'm going to tell you now, and I've said this in many videos, is that I am not a Ford, Ram, none of those am I a fan. I got my truck built around the power plant, and that truck, for what I wanted it to do, was a 3500. I didn't want any bigger than that, and I wanted the Cummins 6-point liter high output turbo diesel. That's what I want. with the, it's a Anson 6-speed Anson transmission and 14 gears, 411 gears. That's now as far as trailer goes. The best is going to cost you a lot of money because, in all actuality, I believe that Diamond C is absolutely the best, and I don't know any different. So, but you're looking at a ton of money. Now, I have no experience with anything other than PJ. Would I buy another PJ? Probably no. And the reason I say no is because I had a I'm sorry, I looked over and read something. Now just my old ass just I had no trouble out of my 32-foot PJ, and that was pre-pandemic. During the pandemic, I had my 40-footer built, and man, I have had broken weld after broken weld after broken weld on this thing, and had problems with the valve on the air compressor for the air rod, but I don't know. I don't like the way Big Tex is set up, and they're all owned by the same people, you know. So if you want the absolute best, you would go with a Diamond C. If you want the most cost efficient, you're looking at a Big Tex or a PJ, something like that. So, okay, what do we got? Is there a limit for cabin chassis? Only the weakest limit on the truck. Okay, there is no length limit. No, the weight limit's going to be the what the truck's set up for. When you guys are looking at trucks, you need to look at the rear axle on the truck, because that's normally where your weakest link is going to come in. So as far if that is about the length, then no. After a certain length, though, which is about 70 feet, I can look this up for you and get back to you. Then it becomes over length, and you become an oversized vehicle. Okay. All right. What's the difference? Yep. What's the difference between CDL and non-CDL setup? All right. Okay. Hey, RJ. Okay. So you have to look at your state now, because all the states are starting to define what is a CDL. When is a CDL required differently? The federal guidelines are pretty simple. I mean, if the federal guidelines are, if your truck and trailer, and it used to be, if you got a dually, truck would be 14, trailer would be 12, and that would be 26 max. Okay. Now the states have gotten involved, and in North Carolina, this is what I'm going to talk about in North Carolina. In North Carolina, if your trailer is over 10,000 pounds, if it's over 10,000 pounds, you got to have a CDL. So you got to look at the state, and you got to say, hey, what is the state requirement? What are they saying a CDL is? In North Carolina, your vehicle that's being towed, if it's over 10,000 pounds, you now have to have a CDL. Again, they didn't change the law. They changed how they're enforcing the law. Because it used to be the truck 14, trailer 12, that's 26. You take the you take the trailer truck max weight, and you go weigh it, and whatever you have left, you take 26 minus the truck, trailer, and all your gear, and that equals what you can put on the deck, and that keeps you under 26,000 pounds. But they're doing it differently. So, okay. So what's the next one we got? Recommendations for pickup. Yes. Yeah. If you were going to do now it's I wouldn't go any bigger than a 3,500. if you're going to try to have multiple uses for it. Once you get into a 4500, it's really, or a 450, it's just a different beast. The setup on it's going to beat you to death just driving it back and forth to work. So don't get anything bigger than 3500. If you're planning on doing this Hotshot thing, I'm telling you, get a dually, because that 7,900 pound axle on a single wheel, it'll limit you way down to what you can pull. Okay, what we got? If you're a non-CDL in your home state and travel to North Carolina, you have to be legal in your state. If you're legal in your state, what happens is you have reciprocity throughout the rest of the states. Now, here's the example though. If I'm non-CDL in North Carolina, my trailer is 14 and 12, I'm saying I'm non-CDL, but I'm illegal here. If you go to California, you're illegal there too. So wherever your driver's license is where your reciprocity comes from. So if you're legal in your home state, you're going to be legal in the lower 48. Okay, what we got? Okay, you mentioned the VA or scholarships for CDL Class A. Are there other options other than using a GI Bill? On the DD214 site, there are phone numbers, okay? There's phone numbers and places where you can reach out and get help from them to find out. I'm sure you could probably get a Pell Grant to use as that. You could get a loan. There are, if you want to, when it comes to, and I'll tell you who to ask about these loans or people that provide financial aid for that. Talk to your truck driving school. They want the money. They're going to go out there and help you get it. So talk to your truck driving school. That's my recommendation. What we got next? Nothing. Everybody's got it now. That's awesome. I'm excited. So let's circle back around real quick with this personal conveyance. You guys just be very, very careful with what you're doing with that, because they are hanging people out to dry. And the example I gave and will give again, a gentleman left his house to wash his truck. He left the car wash to go get breakfast. He left the diner to go back home. He got a ticket for misuse of personal conveyance, because when he left the house to wash that truck that was on duty, he should have been on duty. He's furthering the company agenda. Okay, that was for business. When he went to eat, well, you got to eat. That's personal. But then to get that truck back home, he should have been back on duty. I know it sounds asinine as hell to me too, but it happened. I saw it happen. So, if you're a vet, hang on, what's this one? RJ. Oh, okay. There you go. I didn't know. Oh, here, let me bring Mila on for a minute. Turn your camera on. This is Mila. She's my right hand and everything. She does everything for me. And we're sitting here, doing this in the evening, and she's the one popping this stuff on the screen. We just got this new thing. I don't know how that's going. Got it. I'm hoping it's going pretty good. All right, so I got a video I wanted to show you guys real quick, and this is why you never drive over your head in bad weather. Okay, guys, if you drive over your head in bad weather, this is what happens. Okay, so hang on. Let me see if I can do this. I'm just trying it. So let's see what we got. There we go. There you go. Look at this mess. Why in the world would you be running like this and It's just crazy. Look at this. Where was it going in such a hurry? It's crazy. I don't understand why people do this. Um, I've driven in snow for the better part of my life, and when it's nasty and slimy like that, uh, yeah, I just don't do it. So, all right, question. ELD, signing your logs, hours of service reset. ELD. Okay. All right. So I use Motive. There's a link on the website. Alan can, I don't think it's Alan anymore. I think they changed me, but you go over there and just fill that out. He'll call you and get you set up with free equipment. That's the gig I've got with Motive, is you guys can get your free equipment. So signing your logs. Okay. You have to sign your logs every day. And Motive makes you do that. It won't let you start your next day until you push sign logs. And hours of service reset. All right. You have 70 hours in an 8-day period to work. You have 14 hours a day to drive at 11. All right. Once you get, and I want you guys to put this in your head, okay? What I train my guys to do is you start out on Monday with a full 70, and you can run until Saturday about 5 o'clock if you need to. If you don't, then you stop at Friday. But you want to run during that time because that's when shipping and receiving is open. 99% of them are only open Monday through Friday. So if you need to push forward, go ahead and push forward on Saturday. Stop at 5 so that you can get a full 34-hour reset. And then Monday morning, you're ready to roll again. Okay? If you get off cycle, it's tough because you start screwing everything up. When we start sending guys out, we try to send them out on a Monday morning. And Monday always sucks. It sucks. It's tough to get low. But Monday, Tuesday, we get into Wednesday and Thursday, and we're really not wanting to send anybody out on those days. So in 8 days, you need to run those 6.5 days as hard as you can go, and then reset so you're ready to go again. And that's where you remember, guys. In that, I got an HOS video out there. You guys can look it up. It's there. But it is your money. That's where your money's made. If you blow your clock, you're blowing a day. Had a driver this week that blew his clock, and he had to set for another 34-hour reset. It's just what happens. And now DOT, pay attention here, DOT, FMCSA has directed the ELD companies that, hey, you've had your two years to get used to all this. You are not allowed to edit the drive line for any reason. So if you kick on duty down to that drive line, if you're just on duty, you can edit that. You can go back off duty and you're fine. But if you kick that thing down on drive line, you're done. That's it. You blew it. You're going to have to set another 34 or another 10, whichever you blew. Okay, I hope that answers. If not, follow up, please. Could I get an Iggy shit? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have to reach out. Well, yeah, just probably message me on Facebook or something, and we'll get you one. Let's see. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? CDL. CDL. That's it. Get your CDL first. Then, yes, absolutely, there's a wrong answer. Why would you set up a company if you don't get your CDL? If you can't get your CDL for some reason, you can't pass it. Why do you need an LLC? First thing, get your CDL. Second thing, LLC. Then if you decide you want to get your MC, get your MC. let's see, I think you had a video that talked about 45-day. Well, it's actually like a 30-day wait, but you got a 45-day period where you have to get everything to come together. Okay, so you want to get your CDL. Once you get your CDL, you get your LLC, then you go through the process of getting your EIN numbers and start that process, because there's some things you have to do before you get an MC, and there's some things you can't do until you get an MC. But before you even go down that path, before you even open up an LLC, get your CDL, get your VIN number for the truck, get your VIN number for the trailer that you want to use, and get you an insurance price. And make sure. I had one guy that was $40,000 a year to insure him. So, guys, if you have your CDL, you will always have a job. As long as you don't screw it up with a DWI or drugs or something like that, you'll always have a job. Always. That's the second perk to having that CDL. You'll never be out of work. Okay? All right, so what we got? Do I have merchandise? Well, I got merchandise. I don't think I've ever sold any of it. My hats were really cool. Hey, go grab a DD214 hat for me. Oh, I like my hats, but I couldn't keep a hat. Just so you know, guys, I bought the hats. Took me forever to get the hats. Got the hats. They're like $25 a piece. I think I bought 20 of them. Lasted, I don't know, a day. They got here and they were gone. So, yeah. I've never put it up for sale. I sent my DD214 stuff out to the drivers, and thank you. Oh, yeah. There they are. How's that? Iggy 6 and DD214 hats. So they're all embroidered. They're, flex something. I don't know. I don't wear hats. So I thank you for your question. What else we got? We had a hot date with a guard. Yeah. Huh? I don't know. You click on the Facebook page and it should bring you to here. Why don't you try that? See if it works. Okay, here's one. Show that. What are you doing, crazy? Let's see, what would be the minimum amount of insurance do I need to keep the DOT number active? Just to keep it active. All right. You're talking about a DOT number or an MC number? If you're talking about if you're talking about your MC, what you would need to do is you're going to need to drop that down to as if you were running a Sprinter van, like a cargo van. And then I think it's 300,000. You wouldn't have to keep cargo on it, but you would have to keep 300,000 on it. Now, I wouldn't know the price. You would have to call. You would have to call insurance about that and figure that out. But what you want to tell them is you just want to park your MC for a little bit, and you want to drop it down to the 300,000. But you have to go into the FMCSA and change your whole status around. That you're going to carry less than 10,000 pounds. That you're going to only run intrastate, and that intrastate. Yeah, and I think the minimum requirement on that's 300,000. But please check that. I'm coming off the top of my head. What we got? Do you have an email? I do have an email. Do you want my email? Best way, guys, I will tell you my here. I'll just put it down here. Hold on a second. I'll tell you real quick. Don't burn me up with email stuff because I won't pay attention. Let's see. Let's see, how do I do it? There, show that. That's my email address right there. BryanHicks111@gmail.com. Now, have you guys been over and saw the Patreon site yet? It's new. This is it's sort of a, I don't know what you call it. It's a mentorship inner circle type deal. It's one of those things where it's going to be, you basically get personal time with me, and that's basically it. This thing should be streaming on there, and that's the Patreon site, and it has different levels depending on what you need, different levels of service. Some guys are on there just for support. Other guys are on there that really need help. Okay, what do you got? What you got? No more. Good deal. Okay, so what we got, guys? We got another Wednesday nights down. This was a good one. This was really good, man. I appreciate you guys coming out and visiting with us. It'll get better and better as we get it figured out. I like this new platform we got up here. Like I said, if you need anything, reach out. Go to the Facebook site. That's a great bunch of guys over there. Go to the Patreon site. There you can support us over there. I like this one thing. I'm going to put it up because I like it. It's funny. This is one of my most favorite things I've ever seen. And I tell guys this all the time. So hold on, let's see.
All right, I'm in. Because look, there's some next level shit going on around here, and I'm with that. But before y'all get to beaming me up, it's a couple things I want you to understand. First off, you chose me. So you recognize the skills. And I don't want nobody calling me son or kid or sport or nothing like that, cool?
Cool, whatever you say, Slick, but I need to tell you something about all your skills. As of right now, they mean precisely dick.
Dick. How funny. I love that. It's awesome. But, okay, so it was a Facebook group for a Q&A that I thought was your group. Disappeared. It did disappear, Alfred. It did. I am sorry, man. I screwed it up. Period. I just flat screwed it up. Sorry about that. This time it didn't disappear. So, would you suggest logging into the load boards to get a feel for the lanes? Let's see. Lanes. How else do we line up before we operate without being at the mercy of the dispatchers? Well, I own a dispatch company, and I don't promote it a lot because I don't have to. We've only got so many guys that can do this. So, if Alan, I want to tell you something, and I'm going to be honest with you. If you think that you're going to be able to roll off of the load boards by yourself, you cannot. You're going to lose, because there's no way for you to fill out company packets, to make phone calls, to negotiate rates, unless you're sitting still. And if you're not turning, you're not earning. And that percentage you're paying a dispatcher is worth its weight in gold. I guarantee it. So you got to find a dispatcher that you can trust and that you get along with, and that'll work hard for you. But trying to do it yourself, I've had many people try it, and it doesn't work. So try it. I don't tell anybody not to try it. I did it once. No, hell with that. All right, so what we got? Thank you much. You're welcome, Danny. Okay, Gary. Sent you an email asking about the possible feasibility of working Friday through Sundays. No. Gary Reed. No, Gary Reed. This is not a part-time gig, man. Is it worth it? Hell no. No, it's not worth it. We're not going to kill you in the comments. Nobody's here. No, Gary, nobody here is that way. This is not what we do. This is the inner circle. This is where we support each other. But if you're looking to run a few days a week, you're just pissing up a road. If you need an excuse to buy a new truck, I'll give you an excuse. But yeah, listen, think about this. You run, first of all, you're talking about running on the weekends when most people aren't open. Okay? So that puts you out at least on a Monday drop. So now you're running, 4 days a week. Well, if you could run 4 days a week, okay, then you can run Monday through Friday. And that's 5 days a week. Take 34 and go. But trying to get a truck payment, a trailer payment, get your MC, because nobody's going to lease you on one to run over the weekend. Now you have, not only do you have the money it costs to get set up, but then those bills are going to come, whether you like it or not, they're coming. So my suggestion is, don't do it. I just, no, don't do it. I hope that helps. And okay, got it. All right, guys. If there is no more questions, we're going to count it down. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, 4. No, got it all. Guys, have a great rest of your week. It's been an honor to speak with you this evening. I will be around here, right here, next Wednesday at 7. So please get your questions, and we'll be happy to answer the best we can. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening. Ciao.